I'm Arthur Moats, and I'm here to tell you about my new book, The Moats Theory of Life. If you haven't picked up a copy yet, I strongly encourage you to. This book not only is a fun read, but it's a guide to helping you become a person of impact and inspiration. If you are ready to take the next step to improving not only your life, but those around you as well, go get a copy of The Moats Theory of Life, and it's available at moatstheory.com. What's up? It's the Arthur Moats Experience with Deke. I'm Arthur Moats, and that's my main man, Deke.
What's up, bro?
Man, Thursday, here to record. We got football tonight. Division matchups too, man. Cincinnati Bengals, Cleveland Browns. I'm excited about that. And it's time to preview another big time matchup, man. I'm in football heaven right now, man.
Well, real quick about this Thursday game. Who are we supposed to be rooting for?
What do you mean rooting for?
Who do you want to lose? Who do you think has the better chance to?
I'm not invested. I was just going to enjoy the game.
No. I already remembered as soon as I said that, because remember whenever
we did have that conversation.
We were at the Steelers-Rams game and the Bills were on TV. I was like, we need the Bills to lose. I'm rooting against the Bills here because it had something to do with the wild card, I think. And you're like, what do you mean? I'm like, no, you root for the team that might hinder your team's playoff chances to lose. You're like, no, I don't root for that at all. I think if we should be taking care of business, we shouldn't be rooting for any other teams.
Yeah.
So I forgot you don't really think that way.
It's all good, but you know what? Who are you rooting against tonight? That's how you say it, right? Rooting against.
I don't know, because Browns have more talent, but it seems like Bengals might be together a little bit more
cohesive, yeah.
And Burrow might just be onto something here. That's all.
Well, I will say
I think they're both going to be bottom dwellers. Now, I really thought the Browns would be in the mix for the playoffs, but I don't know, after that first week. Maybe it's knee jerk. Just didn't look good. This
is my whole thought process when I think of the Browns versus the Bengals. Browns more talented, but Browns have the new head coach. I just feel like it's going to take them time to gel regardless.
Good point.
Whereas with the Bengals, they have more changes in terms of personnel, but the coaching staff was there already a year ago, so they already have their system in place. They already have some continuity. The biggest thing obviously is Joe Burrow, but if he's picking it up the way he's been able to thus far, that probably won't be as big of an issue. Whereas when you think about Cleveland, when Stefanski took over, they never got the opportunity to do the introductions, to get the whole, hey, we're going to just implement everything. You're going to learn it here in OTAs, and I'm going to teach it to you again in mini camp. Then I'm going to hit you again in training camp. Their first time really getting that hands-on experience was training camp. So you think about a 4-week time frame with the restrictions that were even in that, because it wasn't like they were able to go out on the field during those 4 weeks of training camp. That's why to me, I'm not writing off the Browns, but I think that they're still going to take a lot longer to get up to speed just because of that new element of the coaching staff and stuff like that.
It'll be interesting for sure in terms of storylines. You got the Browns with all that talent, the big names, and then obviously Burrow with the Bengals.
AJ Green, man.
Yeah.
AJ Green, I like it.
Yeah, and you bring up good points, because I think I remember hearing on ESPN they had in passing one of Odell's press conferences, one of Baker's, where they kind of said that in a way. They were just like, I just felt like we came out sloppy. Things weren't clicking at all. Everything was just off. They were like, I think it's just going to take some time. Yeah. So it goes to your point with the new head coach, though. Either way, it's Thursday Night Football. I mean, it's nice that there's been no hiccups or anything, too.
Yeah, man. So far, so good. Let's keep this thing rolling, man. So, like I said, I'm excited about it. When you talk about the storylines, obviously, you still got to see what's going on with Odell. I mean, you heard the rumors of potential them looking to trade him. Obviously, he says he wants to be there. That's all he's focused on. So, that dynamic is always interesting. And ultimately, man, to see how Baker responds to in week 2. He had a very, very tough defense to go against in week 1 versus the Ravens. But the Bengals, it's going to be a lot easier for him. So this could be one of those games where he does kind of try to get back on track. And for Joe Burrow, too, I know he has to be excited, man. Going against the Chargers defense in week 1 is a lot different than what you're going to see in Cleveland come week 2 for him, man. So I think both of those guys should be able to have some success tonight.
What are you tuning into? Football exclusively? You gonna switch to NBA at all?
No. Right now, man. Because in the East, I'm not. The Heat versus the Celtics.
Are the West playing tonight too? I know the East is,
because Brian and they start on Friday.
Okay.
Yeah. So when I look at that, I'm just like, the Heat and the Celtics, I think it's a good matchup. I love Jimmy Butler's toughness and things like that. That's fun. But for me, that matchup isn't going to move the needle for me enough to say I'm not going to watch this football game. Like if it was LeBron playing tonight, and shout out to the day going Nuggets too. Boy, didn't you say the Clippers was going to win it all? Wasn't that your pick?
I don't think I made a
you
hard
did. That
pick.
was your pick. You did because you said
I hedged really hard.
You said the Clippers are going to win it and they're playing better. And at the time, they were playing better in the bubble. Yeah. You're right.
I don't know if I made the pick. I definitely was leaning that way. I'm not gonna deny I was leaning that way. But I'm a LeBron fan, so I didn't want to go all the way there.
You did go against him, and I remember we had that conversation. And then didn't you?
I still said LeBron was the best player in the league.
Off mic, you told. What did you say off mic? What did you say? If Kawhi beats LeBron this year,
if he did,
what does that mean? That's what you told me.
I think it would flip.
You said it would have flipped
if Kawhi really outplayed him, because it could be one of those scenarios with the Cavs where LeBron completely balls out, but he's getting no help. Correct. Where you would still be thinking in the back of your mind, all right, who really is the better player? So
what are you saying right now?
I did hedge a lot, but my feelings were that yes, I do think Kawhi is going to win, and I do think the Clippers are going to win. I even made a YouTube video. I was calling it Kawhi on a mission. I was comparing him to Jordan. I was impressed by how he was playing. I really was, but. Because I don't know, I like his whole attitude. I like how he goes about his business. It's just
which
quiet.
part, the load management part, or the 10 points, and 12 points in the closeout game part?
I'm over it now because he's not winning anything this year.
Yeah, it's not happening. He need to go to. We thought we were gonna get an all LA Western Conference Finals. We won't even get that. You robbed us. You were up 3-1 to the Nuggets. Double digit point lead in what? Two of those games that they lost, they were up 15-16. Like, this is crazy.
I didn't see Game 7. I was at band practice, but
Game 7, the Nuggets they
smoked them.
They didn't smoke them, but the Nuggets they definitely controlled it the whole time.
That's just wild to me, dude. That's wild.
Murray went for 40.
That is so wild.
Murray went for 40, because man. It was nuts.
Here's the thing with Murray. I know he had the crazy good first round too.
Yeah.
But going into the playoffs, and because you could even see it from last year, you're just like, man, could this guy really be a really good sidekick to Jokic, something like Kobe, Shaq, or even like Lillard or McCollum? Could this be a guy who steps up in the playoffs and hits shots when you need to? And you didn't really have that feeling in last playoffs. There was nothing really in the regular season that made you think that way either. He kind of had very similar stat line.
Very true.
So for him to just go off like this in the playoffs has been wild to me.
Well, I've enjoyed the fact that he's done it 2 times now, being down 3-1. But at the same time, that does concern me, because I'm like, a team like the Lakers, they're closing that out. They're not going to allow you to come back from double-digit deficits 2 times in closeout games. I just don't see that happening. So in that matchup, it's going to be interesting to see just if
they're going to
match
up better than the Clippers for sure.
Yeah, but I think that for the Lakers, are you saying the Lakers match up better with the Nuggets?
Yeah,
without a doubt.
They definitely will. Because
I love that matchup for the Lakers versus if it was them versus the Clippers. That was scary a little bit just because of their strengths versus our weaknesses and vice versa. I think that this plays really well into what the Lakers want to do.
Yeah, dude. Excited to see it though, man. It's they gotta schedule this right. They gotta take those games off of Sunday for sure.
Yeah, because nobody even
even on Monday. What they should do is put the Monday games, if they have ones. I'm sure there will be a game coming up here. Put that at 4 or 5.
Because the problem is, man, that the game 6 when the Clippers were up 3-1. It was Sunday. I forgot what time it was, but it was right in the middle of the day when football was going on.
There's no shot.
Yeah. I'm like, good luck. I don't even care. Even if LeBron was playing at that time, I still wouldn't have tuned in.
First week of football.
Yeah, it's not happening.
Now all the Steeler games are going to be at 1 here too.
Yeah, so I'm like,
and then you're going to get them
scheduled like that.
You're going to get a marquee matchup for the Sunday night game, and usually there's a game or two at 4 o'clock. That's always pretty good too.
And then that kills your whole NBA. Let's watch this.
Yeah, because
it is what it is, man.
I probably would rather watch. Maybe I'll have my 2-screen thing. You know how I had that mix that I was talking about. Yeah. Maybe I'll do that, but. My main thing, I would probably be rather watching a Sunday night football game than one of these.
Even if it's not a Steelers game, I still rather watch NFL football.
Because who's this week? Patriots, Seahawks. Come on, that's awesome.
You're not missing that.
No,
especially the way Cam looked in week 1. You're not missing that. Come on, baby.
No way.
Yeah. So that's that, man. But
no hiccups though. We're rolling.
So far everything is good. I did see with the MLB for playoffs, they're implementing the bubble for the playoffs. I did see they're doing that. So that'd be interesting to follow just to see. because they were doing it how the NFL is doing it in terms of no bubble, no hub cities either. So it'd be interesting to see as the thing progresses.
Well, they were talking for NFL for playoffs, potentially doing that
too. Yeah, Sean Payton, man, he was one of the guys who brought it up. So that's definitely something to follow to just see. Okay, on the fly, can that potentially work like that? So,
well, I think you're seeing stadiums though. I think there's going to be a few of them this week that are getting some fans in.
6,000 fans tonight for the Browns supposed to be.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, they're supposed to have fans. I know. I think it's Minnesota, maybe. I think Minnesota, they're trying to have 15,000 fans for week 4, their week 4 game. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting, though, to see just as this thing progresses, man, and, people become more comfortable with the state of the whole COVID situation. Obviously, vaccines and things like that, as the thing continues to progress, that could change a lot, man, in terms of fans being allowed and things. So, yeah, we just following the flow, man. But either way, enjoying it all.
Yeah, the TV experience is great.
Oh, no doubt. So I was going to ask, man, do you want to hop right into this matchup, man, or do you want to talk some around? Okay.
Or I'm good for either one. Your call.
You just hit me with the let's go. So
I didn't know there was another option.
I was going to say, or did you want to talk maybe some of the matchups around the league, man? Anything got your eyes on? You got your eyes on it?
The one thing I'm thinking about.
What you got, man?
Is Brady. It's the whole storyline. Is Brady done or not? And
they couldn't wait to drop that.
I would love to get your opinion on it because I really don't think so, dude. Mm-hmm. I saw some teardrops he was throwing. He was dropping dimes. It just seemed like lack of communication. Mm-hmm. They were off a little bit. Kind of the things that you were talking about this whole offseason with. Well, in this case, it's not a new coach, but Brady being in a new system, new players there. Yeah, a lot of new things happening down there in Tampa Bay. Still had 3 touchdowns, 2 of them throwing, and I saw a lot of good passes. The one pick was a miscommunication with Mike Evans. He probably played one of the top 2 or 3 teams in the NFC as well, and you expected that. I was more or less leaning on the Brady Magic somehow pulling out the win in week 1, but... I thought he was fine. Like it wasn't a great game or anything. I don't think he's done it all. I think he's gonna be fine the rest of the season. So I don't know if that's like the main storyline I'm thinking with these games coming up this week.
Yeah, for me, man, I think you hit on a couple of things, man. Obviously, Brady being new to that system, them trying to all get on the same page. You had so many moving pieces. Fournette had literally signed there a couple of days prior to that. I mean, you just had a lot of moving parts, and you're playing against a team that is really good. The Saints aren't a slouch. It's a reason why the Saints have been successful to that extent over these past couple of years, and they had pretty much everybody coming back as well.
Yeah.
So when you think about all that, it didn't surprise me that the game went the way it did.
No, you picked it.
Well, and I didn't think that it would look like how it did at some parts of the game, especially in the third quarter.
Well,
the Saints were about to run away with it.
The dude dropped that kickoff. I mean, I think they were down 1 score at that point.
Yeah, and
it was either
the
10 or 7
on it, which was... For the clarification, the guy that was in front, they started backing up. Rule of thumb, anytime it's a kickoff return, you never back up if you have a returner behind you. The returner's job is to say, if the returner doesn't say, I got it, if the receiver doesn't say you, then you never back up to get it. If you're supposed to stand at your depth, wherever because each team is going to have different marks, right? So some can say, all right, be on the 10-yard line. All right, this guy's on the 20-yard line. Wherever they tell you to set at, you don't back up to catch the ball. You never back up. It's because the returner can come, and like I said, if the returner can't get to it, he'll be saying you, and let you know. But other than that, it's on the returner to get to that ball wherever it's kicked.
That's interesting because...
So that's why you saw the miscommunication, the dude backing up, and the returner's like, yo, you're not supposed to be here. Like,
me and my buddies were talking about it. We were like, you know what, in baseball, it's up to the outfielder to call the guy off, but you're saying the opposite, where
it's the opposite.
The guy shouldn't even be coming back in the first place.
Yeah, he should never back up.
Wow.
You don't back up for the ball, man.
That ball goes over your head,
you're good.
That looked like it was going out of bounds anyway. But those dudes were charging for the Saints, though. Like, that was a short kick. So, like, if that would have bounced inbounds, they could have been able to get that maybe.
Absolutely, man. But that was the whole thing with that, man. So, yeah, rule of thumb, man. If you're not the primary returner, you never back up for the ball. The returner will tell you when to get it.
Nah, for sure. Yeah. What's your big storyline? What game you watching or looking forward to?
Man, obviously that Patriots Seahawks game is going to be nuts, bro.
I was going to say.
Because the Seahawks defense looked really good with Jamal Adams back out there. He was very productive, man. He was flying around making a ton of plays. I think the addition of him definitely makes their defense a lot better just because it's a younger, fresher version of what they were used to with Earl Thomas and things like that. I think that's going to look good. Obviously, Russell Wilson and that offense looks really good, but they were going against the Falcons, so we have to keep it in context. But ultimately, man, I think that's going to be interesting to see how Belichick and the Patriots defense try to minimize what the Seahawks have been able to do on the offensive standpoint in week 1. But I'm excited about Cam, man. Cam looked good in week 1, man. He was clean. I like how they utilized him in terms of some of the zone read stuff. You could just see that element changed everything for that offense. I do want to see more consistency though.
Where it'll work even with the lack of weapons.
Yeah, but my thing is this though. I need to see more consistency out the receivers. If they're not going to be elite receivers in terms of like your true number one guys, like how we go down those lists and things like that, you have to make the routine plays. And I know when I was watching that game, man, it was a couple of routine drops that they had. I know Edelman had a big drop early in the game. Like, that's the type of stuff you can't have happening if you're not the type of receivers that are just winning all the time. You got to make sure that you're doing all the routine stuff the right way, man, so they can still be in these games, because that Dolphins team is a lot better than last year, but that Dolphins team isn't going to be able to hang with some of these top tier teams. And if the Patriots want to be a playoff team, they're going to have to be able to produce at a higher level than that.
That game was interesting because I never really felt like the Dolphins were ever going to win it. But at the same time,
they were never out of it either.
Yeah. It didn't seem like they were playing the Patriots bad in terms of their defense versus the Patriots offense.
Correct.
Obviously, Cam got his touchdowns, but I think, if you're going into that game and the Patriots offense is only able to do that, you got a shot to win. It was the 3 interceptions by Fitzpatrick that really screwed them.
Well, the 3 interceptions, but also they were very conservative in terms of how they used Cam in that game one. It was a couple of, short yardage situations where it's like, man, you got Cam. Why aren't you just running his own read? Why aren't you doing something where he's at least rolling out, getting a chance to have a run or throw option out of it? They weren't really putting him in those type of situations. I don't know if, I personally am leaning towards it because it was the first game, just trying to fill each other out. You try to go for what you know in certain scenarios until he can continue to build that rapport with the coaching staff. And I just kind of lean towards that. But I don't expect them to be that conservative going forward, where it's 3rd and 1, 4th and 1, and you're not giving Cam opportunity to go for it or make a play on it. That's my whole thing.
And then it'll be interesting for our MVP tracker because Wilson's going up against a good team now. So.
And Lamar did just get Player of the Week too.
Did he?
Yeah, over your boy Ben, man.
Player of the Week.
Oh man, they gave it to him.
I'm surprised. Wait, this is for the whole NFL or just AFC?
I think this was AFC. I just saw today.
Because who'd they give it? NFC. I could definitely see them giving it to Rodgers over there.
Oh, got an NFC. I gotta look because this had to be AFC because they had Cam. They had Lamar, and then they had Casey Hayward as the defender, and then it was the kicker from Vegas. They got special teams, so yeah, that was definitely AFC.
Hold on, let me see here.
Yeah, man.
This is Baltimore Ravens. I got to go to NFL.
Yeah, man, but I was a little surprised by that. I really.
Russell Wilson. It was Lamar and Russell.
Jeez, I'm a little surprised that two guys and they didn't give it to 7. You know what I mean? Like,
I think they put in their votes a little too early before the Monday night game. Yep.
Because I thought they couldn't vote until Tuesday.
They already had their picks in, though.
That's what they said.
I don't know how they did it, but it just seems like they already had their picks in.
Yeah, from what they told us was, it's one unified thing. They're gonna all do this together at Tuesday.
There were some guys breaking the rules, man. They put pen to paper a little too early, and then they didn't want to break off the envelope.
That's what it was.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, you know what? Week 2 is here, so it's all good. Don't even worry about it, man.
Unfortunately for them, I don't know what they were thinking about Ben's potential performance on Monday night.
That's what it was.
Maybe they were underrating what he could do.
All right.
And then they didn't want to waste an envelope.
That's what
they
it was.
wanted to save the trees.
You know what? And because of the pandemic globally, man,
environment,
you can't afford to just be wasting envelopes. You're absolutely right.
They'll learn from their mistake.
You are funny, bro.
But no, Patriots, good defense for Russell. Yeah. And then we got the Broncos, who, we'll talk about it in our matchup stuff, but their defense ain't bad. But I think Ben, I think Ben's got a chance for 3 here.
Had to look at my computer, look at some of these other matchups.
The main one to me, in terms of probably the best matchup on here, is probably the
Chiefs. I don't know if Chargers is going to be interesting.
I don't know if this is just strictly hype though, based off week 1, but Arizona, Washington. That should be pretty interesting.
Man, well, when you look at Washington, their strength is their D-line, and we know the Cardinals, their weakness on offense is definitely their offensive line. So
and then Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
Jeez, oh man.
Kyler Murray.
I can't. That was a tongue twister there. Kyler Murray being able to dodge those defenders getting after him. That's going to be interesting, dude. I think it'll be an interesting matchup for sure.
Absolutely.
So that's a 4:00 game.
I'm also gonna be double duty, man. Got the Bills on Sunday, 1:00, man.
I was listening to a podcast.
Do my 1:00 like that? I don't like when both of my squads at 1. That make it tough for your boy.
Oh, you're gonna feel like you got to work.
Cause I'm be watching both.
I know, but that's what you're saying.
But for
me, like that's like second nature. But
so for me, the way it's gonna end is Steelers the primary, but since they're a 1 o'clock game, hopefully this time
laptop, another TV.
No. For me, it's simple. If I'm watching the Steelers at 1, that means I'm done with them by 4. Either later that night, like after the Sunday night game is over.
Not even messing with the 2 screens.
Nah,
not even gonna.
Because I want because I feel like I'm gonna miss something. I want to miss something. You know what I mean? So yeah, I literally just because we don't have to wait for like the all 22 film to come out to watch the game just to watch it. Like, so I'll probably just watch the condensed copy or even rewatch the broadcast later that night because I don't be doing anything, man. On Sunday, I'm just gonna be enjoying the good vibes, man.
Dude, I was listening to a podcast. They kind of ran down through all these matchups. We're not obviously going through all the matchups, but kind of like how we're doing right here. And they were talking about the Bills and Dolphins and. I think the line's like at 3.5 or 4 for the Bills, and they thought that was actually giving the Bills too much credit there. Like they thought it was going to be like a little bit closer, which was surprising to me because I thought the Bills played good. Like I only saw the first half, but I thought Josh Allen, much as I rip on him, man, he was impressive. Dude.
Well, I was gonna say, man, that Bills team, man, they should have probably scored close to 50 points in that game.
And there was nothing about the Dolphins, like I said, that really impressed me or think, oh, wow. Because I think the Bills is a total offense.
Yeah.
It's probably better than the Patriots. Yeah. And then the Bills defense is probably better than the Patriots, too.
And I'll say this, man, as we're talking about Buffalo here, yeah, they had 3 touchdowns 3 times they should have scored.
It was the Jets, though. It was the Jets.
Well, and I'll say this, though. I understand, like, the whole it's the Jets. That's the same thing we said about the Giants as well, right? Keep the same energy, though. Keep the same energy. Keep the same energy. That's all I'm saying.
Giants
because the Jets
might have something there.
The Giants have a better defense than the Jets. Well, they bought what, honestly? I think I'm leaning Jets. I'm probably leaning Jets over Giants defense.
I don't know.
We're talking just defense right now.
As a whole team, though, Giants are better for sure. I think Giants might surprise people. I thought what Jones did. I mean, Barkley is definitely gonna have his worst game this year.
Yeah.
Slayton took a step.
He surprised us all.
That's what I mean. I think they're going to be pretty decent. Maybe they'll be 7-9 or something like that. Maybe 8-8.
Ain't that what the Jets going to be?
No, they're going to be like 3-13 or something.
They weren't even 3-13 last year.
No, they're going to be bad this year, dude.
They didn't even go 3-13 last year, and they had worse players last year.
No.
Yes, they did.
They don't have Mosley anymore. I mean, they didn't have him last year.
He didn't have him last year.
Dude.
You ain't have Le'Veon for. Well, hold on. Le'Veon missed.
He only missed one game.
He missed one game last year, but they missed Darnold. That's what it was.
They missed
was
Darnold
for
a couple games.
Their O-line didn't even have, at least they got Mekhi Becton now. They ain't even have him last year.
They don't have Anderson anymore. Dude, they're a bad team.
Bro, they're better this year than last year. I'm telling you, man.
What was their record last year? 7-9?
Yeah.
I'm taking the under on that. You saying they're going to be 8-8?
I'm saying they probably be right around 7-9 again.
7-9.
They're that's what they are right now. That's how I look at it, man.
I think they're gonna be bad. But no, what were we saying? It was we're talking about the Bills
though, man. Yeah. So when I looked at them, man, number one, Josh Allen. Obviously I did the film breakdown and we talked about his accuracy and how it was improving. He was sharp. There's one throw, and that's the throw that everybody talks about, the miss in the back of the end zone to John Brown, and that's him literally rolling to his left. It's an easy throw. Well, it's easy in theory, but because he doesn't focus on his mechanics, he misses the throw bad. But he had the exact same scenario, a tougher throw, actually rolling to the right earlier in the game where he has John Brown with 2 or 3 defenders around him, but he's rolling to his right. It's a lot easier of a throw when you're a right-handed quarterback. But for the majority of the game, man, his accuracy was beautiful. He was on point. Outside of that throw, the 2 fumbles were the biggest thing with him, man. He had 2 fumbles in the red zone where he's running the ball, already has a first down. Yeah, if you just hold on to the ball, and it wasn't like he got hit anything. It was literally just one hand on the ball, just relaxing, lazy moments and stuff like that. You clean that up, man. That's 14 points. If you want to add the touchdown to John Brown, that'd be 21 points. That's a totally different conversation. And this was when they were up 21-0 when this happened. So that's why I'm like, man, when you looked at that Bills offense, man, they just looked sharp. The biggest thing I would say with them is they probably have to improve their running game. Like, they didn't really commit to it in week 1, but they really didn't have to because of how good Josh Allen and those receivers look. John Brown looked good. Stephon Diggs looked good. Cole Beasley had a big catch. Actually, the big catch that he had to Cole Beasley, too, was like a 30-yard gain. If he just puts a little more air into the ball, it's probably a touchdown because he's catching it and continuing to run. So I think, honestly, that Bills team is going to continue to be good. I like them a lot in this matchup against the Dolphins, man. I think, man, just from a national standpoint, if you didn't watch it on that level, you just see the score, you see
were up
Josh
21,
Allen,
and
2
then them
turnovers,
coming
right?
back.
And you think, oh man, they came back. They in there playing the Jets good. It was never that type of situation. In fact, that game never even felt close. At least in the Steelers game, we talked about how in that third quarter when they had the 19-play drive, we were kind of like, it could swing the momentum.
Yeah, a
here.
fumble, a pick here or
Right.
there.
That was never the case in that Bills Jets game, man. You never felt that. Even when the Jets scored, and when they scored, it was okay, missed tackle, which led to the touchdown. If that doesn't even happen, you never even feel like they are even in the same, stadium as those guys. So that's kind of how I thought about that whole thing, man. Why I think the Bills are still going to be good going into this game against the Dolphins.
I just checked. They're favored by 6, but they were saying on the thing that they should be favored by 3 or 4.
Gotcha.
So I kind of misspoke there, but that was the gist of it. They thought that they were giving the Bills too much credit with the line, which I feel gross about, like kind of complimenting the Bills after all of my terrorizing takes over the past kind of like off season.
I like
and
when
the
you
end of
make
the
your
season.
takes though, man. You keep the streak
I know,
alive, man.
dude, I gotta call it like I did. I mean, he played really good, man.
Yeah.
I thought Josh Allen played pretty solid, having over 300 yards like that. So I'm just gonna say kudos to them, and I definitely think I don't think 6 is a bad number for them being favored over the Dolphins like that.
Well, and I think too, man. I just think right now the Bills' defense is more complete and a better defense.
They got
than
those
the
injuries.
Patriots.
Though. Are they gonna play? I haven't checked.
Well,
the
yeah,
reports or
they're
anything.
still up in the air right now. In terms of Tremaine and Matt Milano, they're not going to be long-term injuries, but it could be something where it's maybe a week, maybe 2 weeks. But I got to follow it. I haven't checked the injury report for today's practice and stuff like that. That'll tell us a lot more. But I just feel like their defense as a whole is a lot better than what the Dolphins saw week 1. Obviously, we talked about the opt-outs that the Patriots had. And you see, like I said, Fitzpatrick, he turns the ball over. He's hot when he's hot, but when he gets cold, he gets cold.
Yeah.
And I just think that Bills defense, man, between that front, the secondary, man, they have more than enough to really cause problems for that Dolphins offense.
I don't know if I got another one here that I'm really eyeing up. Monday night, Saints Raiders. Saints are gonna blow them out.
Man, the Raiders play tough, man.
It's at Vegas.
You don't like Abrams? What about Abrams, man? He looked good.
I'm not buying this, dude.
Come on, Josh Jacobs. Come on, bro.
Did say
Carr look good. Everybody look good, man.
Oh man, you said Jacobs for the Pro Bowl. He had the 3 touchdowns.
He did.
But you said Abrams looked good though, and Jamal Adams ain't in the AFC anymore.
Yeah, he did, man. It'd be interesting,
but
bro.
I mean, yeah, I think Saints are gonna win that game. I mean, it was Raiders Panthers. I'm not a believer in either of those teams.
Well, put it like this: Rule outsmarted himself, anyways, in that game. Man, he had a chance to win it at the end, or at least a chance to make it comparable, or a shot to win, a shot to tie it. And yeah, I just didn't like the play call, man. You got Christian McCaffrey, who you paid all his money to, but yet you handed off to the fullback on a dive, and yeah, who are you tricking? It's the NFL, baby. Like you give the ball to your moneymakers when it's clutch time like that.
Well, as much as I was gonna say, as much as I don't want to rip on Taysom Hill or anything, I hate when teams do that. Dude, this is my point. There was one play in that game where they gave it to him. I forget what happened. It was on a sweep or something like that. It was a 4th down, I think.
Yes.
And they didn't get it. And I was like, that's what you get because you don't give it.
You
don't give it to Drew Brees. It's like whenever the Steelers because we've done it in the past. I hate when any team does this. So I don't care if it's the Steelers
if you're gonna go for it.
If you're 4th and 1,
offense out there and go for it.
Keep your offense and your quarterback out there, especially if you have a franchise QB, as opposed to trying to do a fake punt or some type of fluky thing like that. I hate that. Put it in your best guy's hand.
Though, is a fake punt really a fluke though? You wouldn't say that if an offensive play worked, you wouldn't call that a fluke. You would just say they executed.
No, I
if you execute,
no matter what,
punt, you should execute as a play.
I will never like those calls.
Serious.
Even if they get it, I will never like. Those calls.
See, for me, I view it the same way as if you were to convert a 5-yard out. It's if you are executing the way you're supposed to execute, you called at the right time, you've practiced this, then yeah, I'm all for it. Yeah, that's why I loved even that. It was a Saints Bears Super Bowl where they did the surprise onside kick. Like, yeah, if you execute and you practice and you know on tape, hey, this guy's leaving early, we can catch him. Absolutely go for that versus, okay, now let's try to do this against Brian Urlacher and Lance Briggs and all these guys. It might be a little difficult right here. So yeah, I'm not opposed to that, man. As long as you're doing something that you've practiced and you've worked on and you've at least had success in practice doing it, then yeah, I'm all for you calling it in the game, man.
I can't stand it. I can't. That onside kick, I don't know. Am I just doing it because they got it?
I don't know. You tripping.
But like, I think that's the only exception for all these things. I really don't like any of those that ever happen. I really don't.
I think about Chicago Bears where they had the fake Devin Hester's running over here. The other guys running over there, act like they're returning it. The whole line is over there. He catches it by himself, walks in the end zone. Like, Yeah, if you can scheme it up like that, man, special teams are a play. We talk about, no one likes to talk about it until something bad happens.
I am starting to eye up the special teams a little bit more on my
No
my
one
film
talks
analysis.
special teams, and then Deontay fumbles the punt, and we're like, oh, whoa, what is this? Whoa, what?
Wait,
Yeah.
wait, can I say this? Because I didn't realize the game was going to be at 7.
I didn't
until I had the.
Yeah.
I just threw on ESPN in the background. All of a sudden, Monday Night Countdown was on. It was like 5. I'm like, whoa, this is really early. So then I saw 7 o'clock for the game, or 7:15, whatever it was. So the game starts, and I text you. I said, Switz. And you're like, yo, what's up with that? I'm like, Deontay, he fumbled a punt. I was like, oh, you're like, oh shit, I gotta check out the game here. I thought it was at 8. I was like, I did too,
bro. I thought I was eating dinner, man. Yeah,
I thought it was at 8, but like I said, I luckily turned on the Monday Night Countdown before, and it just led into the game.
That was
But
funny,
did you see the reaction on like Twitter and stuff too, where everyone was saying that?
Yeah,
they were like, oh man, Switz is out here. He's like peeking through the windows trying to see if the Steelers need
the
me.
second punt return. He like falls back, catching it. I'm like, oh Lord, he looking shaky. Like it's not what you want, man. So,
Dude, McLeod though on the kick return,
he was
holy
good, bro.
crap, man.
Yeah, but in Buffalo, he's a returner, man. He's fast like that, bro. I mean, if given the opportunities, man, he definitely has that type of potential. But speaking of returners, this game we got coming up against the Broncos, Deontay Spencer. Bro,
Yeah, we had him.
But he flies down there, man, in terms of his returns, punt return, kick return. Like, it's exciting to watch him with the ball, man. So that's definitely something. But we'll get
I was gonna say I'm good on matchups, man. There's nothing else I'm really looking at. Falcons, Cowboys, I guess are always a storyline, but that's nothing like crazy. They should opposed to some of the other matchups we were talking about, you know. But yeah, I'm good. I'm good with getting into the Steelers Broncos.
Let's do it then, man. So, first off, storylines here. Obviously, for those that don't know, the Broncos lost Monday night as well. They had the late game. They lost right at the end, man. Last second field goal by the Titans. A little bit of clock mismanagement potentially by Vic Fangio. He had a couple timeouts sitting there in his pocket, never called one. So by the time they got the ball back, I think it was 17 seconds left. That's how they ended up losing. Earlier in the game, though, the Broncos had a chance to score. Got stopped on the goal line 4 plays, couple mishaps and things like that. But I think, man, the Broncos, they still look like a good team to me. Obviously, knowing the Titans were AFC Championship contender last year, I thought that was going to be a tough game for them because I thought both teams were pretty evenly matched. Neither one,
a little less experience for the Broncos.
Correct.
That's all you
less
say.
Experience for the Broncos, but neither one has just a plethora of talent where you're just like, man, I don't know how we can hang with these guys.
Right. Young talent for the Broncos, but they didn't even play.
They didn't, yeah, without a doubt. So that was my thought process with that. But I thought the game was good. I guess my initial takeaway from it was Drew Lock looks good. Still has to continue to improve with his accuracy. He had, I mean, for the most part, he looked good, but he still missed some routine throws. Jerry Jeudy, I thought, played well, but he has a drops issue. He had dropped some easy ones. That gave me a little pause. I didn't think they could run. I don't think they'll be able to run the ball at all on us, honestly, man.
No, me neither.
Watching them, Melvin Gordon is cool, but I don't think they have enough to win that battle in the trenches, man.
Well, I wanted to say this about Melvin Gordon because I always felt this way about Tomlinson for whatever reason. I don't know if it's just Chargers running backs, but I swear whenever he played the Steelers, we always kept him in check. Always, it was like 20 yards, 30 yards. Yes. LT was never a factor. And I was thinking that with Melvin Gordon. I was like, when has he ever played us and done anything? Yeah. So I remember back his rookie year, I kind of looked up the stats. Only had 30 yards rushing there. And then last year.
Hold on. What was his rookie year? Was that
15?
That was the Monday night
play
game.
him?
Yeah, the Monday. Was that the Vic one? Yeah.
It was at
San Diego.
Yeah, he didn't do anything there. He did. I checked. He had a lot of receptions, but that's just more Phillip Rivers checking it down. And then last year he only had like 18 yards against us. I'm not worried at all. I'm
I agree. Boat. I feel like, man, and it's not like
Philip Lindsay's not playing. I mean, he's the one that torched us. Yeah. What was it, a couple years ago?
Absolutely, man. Yeah. So I don't know what it is about Melvin Gordon. He just seems more finesse to me than when you think of like a Saquon Barkley or even a Joe Mixon, like some of those guys who are explosive, but they just seem like a powerful, like aggressive style runner. Melvin doesn't really give me those type of vibes. I think that's why a lot of times he does struggle with teams like the Steelers who fly around and are super aggressive and stuff like that. Then we're talking about the Broncos defense. I mean, I like their front, man. I do. Obviously, Bradley Chubb, he stands out to me. I thought he played too many snaps in his first game back, and they said they initially didn't want him to play that much. But obviously, when you lose Von Miller game week, and obviously he's out for the season, I think that's what ultimately led to him playing a lot more. But when he was fresh and not tired, he was looking good. Like good. He was giving Taylor Lewan some issues, and we know Taylor Lewan is a top tackle in this league. He looked really good against him. Jarrell Casey, obviously, in the interior was causing some problems as well, man. I like that. They're gonna feel the loss of AJ Bouye though. Separated the shoulder, he's gonna be out.
They said probable. Is it
No. Yeah,
confirmed?
they put him on IR yesterday. So he's gonna be gone for at least 3 weeks. So yeah, so I think they're definitely gonna feel that. And obviously they already lost Chris Harris through free agency during the offseason. So that could be something that potentially the Steelers take advantage of. I think they will, as long as they can protect. If they can, like I said, you got to minimize Chubb and Casey though. If you can contain those guys, man, and give Ben some time. Yeah, I definitely like our receivers versus their secondary.
No joke. I was thinking this. It's actually pretty similar to the Giants matchup.
Absolutely. It definitely is.
good, but an experienced quarterback. Young weapons on offense.
Yeah.
You could see talent. I mean, Sutton's actually way better than anyone the Giants had for sure. But, I mean, he's coming off an injury. Like, we're not – I mean, I think he's playing this – I think they're going to – I think it's going to be him, Hamler, and Judy. I think they're all going to play. But unproven talent there in terms of Judy and Hamler. You still have to wonder
at what percentage are they going to be, because obviously they've been dealing with
even with being in sync with Locke,
right.
you know. But a great tight end in Fant, Ingram over there with the Giants. And then defense, like you said, front seven is their strength, getting to the passer, getting behind the backfield. And then I guess secondary, especially with Bowie being out.
Bouye gone, yeah.
How was it? I said Bowie.
You just say Bowie, so Bouye. Yeah.
Bouye. With Bouye being out. I mean, they got Simmons. I think that may be the X factor that Broncos have as opposed to the Giants. But
true.
It's pretty similar in my opinion.
But you think about this. Who did the Giants have in their secondary that was the X factor?
I'd say Simmons over him though.
Well, no, I agree in that, but I'm just saying like very similar in terms of where you have their like the playmakers and stuff like that. One guy in the secondary, this guy at that level, and so forth. But yeah, man, when you talked about Noah Fant, man, they do a really good job of featuring him. But the thing that I like what the Broncos did that I do think will cause some issues for our rushers. What they do, they have a lot of 12 personnel. They'll have 2 tight end sets, or wherever your premier edge guy is, they'll have a tight end to his side, and they delay that tight end every time. In terms of they'll have that tight end stay in and chip that edge guy like a hard 2 hands on him, 1001, 1002, and then get into the route late, which
that's
a lot of times.
That's one thing he could do better than Ingram.
Yeah,
for sure.
and it benefited Fant a lot because by the time you 1000, 1000, the coverage is already left. And obviously the Titans, they played a lot more zone, so they would be gone. And now he's able to slip out, catch it at, a 4-yard catch, but he runs after, makes it 7 or 8. I like that a lot because Jadeveon Clowney was giving them problems. And when they started doing that, it really changed how his impact was on the game, along with moving Drew Lock a lot, man. He hardly ever was just dropping straight back. He was rolling to the right, rolling to the left. It was always some type of misdirection, just moving his launch point to ultimately compensate for the line's inefficiencies. For me, man, I could definitely see them doing something similar to that because our D-line is a lot better than that Titans D-line. And just knowing they're not going to just sit back and allow Bud and TJ to take advantage of those tackles, especially, I mean, the one tackle that they draft, was it the one they drafted this year or the one they signed? I'm drawing a blank, but he's not even playing. He opted out for the season and things like that. So that's definitely not the matchup that you want to have those guys on the island for. So I can see that scenario where they try to minimize those guys like that. Luckily for us, we do have the back end that can cover and hang with those guys, but that's definitely going to be something to watch, man.
Yeah, and I was just thinking this too. I guess the difference would be then, to go back to my last point, Simmons, the advantage for the Broncos on defense, where he's better than Jabril Peppers. And then you got the Giants on offense, Barkley, versus Ingram. So I guess those would be like the two X factors. But in general, it's like pretty much the same thing. We're probably going to be looking at similar things like keys to the game and what we're going to need to do to have success. Man. That's kind of what I was figuring. I guess, I don't know. I guess the one thing that would worry me is the receivers against our cornerbacks. You saw Slayton go off kind of last week. I was saying with
Sutton. We are assuming that Sutton, Judy, and Hamler are probably... I feel like Sutton is better than Slayton, but I think right now Judy is at least comparable. I mean, Judy's still young. And like I said, Judy, he gets open. He has great footwork. It's just the hands. He's not consistent right now, man.
That's the thing. I mean, if you're placing money on it though,
Yeah.
I'm betting on the Steelers cornerbacks and our defense.
Yes, absolutely.
And Minko, any of these guys covering their receivers, figuring out a way, whether it's scheme or not. I'm putting my money on that, but I think that's probably the main thing you're worried about then on offense. I can't really think of anything else. I guess Fant versus Bush.
I was going to say that's the matchup. I'm not worried about our receivers. Our corners. I think our corners will do fine. They're going to make some plays just because they are really good. But I think that our secondary wins that. The matchup that I'm interested in is Fant versus Bush, because with the Giants, Evan Ingram isn't their guy that we want to feature. Their offense, they want to feature Saquon, and then from there, it's like, all right, well, Ingram, you can get what's left over, but we want to stretch the field a little bit. So let me see what you get with Slayton, because obviously Golden Tate wasn't out there. With the Broncos, though, their offense, they run it through Fant. Like, that's the difference. Fant is targeted a lot. A lot of their passing concepts highlight him, and obviously, if you take him away, well, then he's going now. Locke is going to his second and third read, which is Judy, which is going to be Sutton and those guys. But they're going to make sure that they highlight that matchup. Whereas I don't think the Giants highlighted Ingram like that. So that's why I think this is going to be a better test for Devin Bush. Obviously, I felt like he did great in week 1. Man coverage, zone coverage, he was flying around, great open field tackling. That was the biggest thing too. When you're playing in space, you got to be able to open field tackle, because if you miss, now that's a 10-yard gain on top of that, because everybody else is in coverage back, turn to him and stuff like that. They're going to isolate Devin and things like that. So it's going to be interesting just to see how he continues to respond and progress. I think he'll be fine, but that's my biggest concern from our defense. Our offense, the offensive line. We don't know. Right now, we know Banner is out for the year with the ACL. Wisniewski, they said it's a pec, but we don't have any more information.
I don't think DeCastro
hasn't practiced yet. So you're potentially looking at having a whole new right side of the line, and Kevin Dotson, a 4th-round rookie, starting. Fourth-round rookie starting, and then you have Chuks Okorafor making a start at right tackle. I feel a little bit more confident in Chuks because his first time starting was against this same Broncos team, but it was against Von Miller. Now, granted, schematically, we did some things to help him, but he still performed well. So I do feel a lot better in that regard.
Yeah, no Von Miller.
But Bradley Chubb is going to present some challenges. But when I look at Kevin Dotson, the rookie, I know he has some.
Wait, are they going to be lining Chubb against Villanueva, or is it going to be Okafor? He's going to be moving around.
He flip-flops. Okay.
Yeah. So they're probably going to put him mostly on Okafor's side then. Is that what you're saying?
They're both going to see him. Trust me, they're both going to see him, man. They're both going to see him.
All right. They're moving him around.
Yeah. And rightfully so, because he can rush good on both sides. It does not matter. But I'm drawing a blank on the other guy's name, but he created some good pressure as well, man.
You said off the mic
I'm
that
gonna pull it up real quick, man.
He was definitely filling in for Vaughn pretty well.
Yeah, I'm going to pull it up real quick, man, just so that way when he's out there, we can know who we're talking about.
You don't want to give them any fuel to the fire too by not mentioning the name. You
never know, man. They might get offended.
They might be tuning in.
Here it is, Jeremiah Atachu. I think that's how you say it, man.
Okay.
Yeah, but number 97, man. He was productive. 3 tackles, had a sack out there as well, man. But they all are in that same like lanky speed rusher. He's 6'3", 250, prototypical size, but he rushes really well, man. And the thing that I was impressed too with Jeremiah, he had success going against Taylor Lewan as well. And for me, I always gauge these edge rushers against like, okay, well, what's the quality of opponent? What's the quality of tackle? The reason we talked about last game, like I was more impressed with Bud going against Andrew Thomas than I was TJ talent against Cameron Fleming, who's more of a journeyman. So that was the whole thing with that. And that's why I said, man, with those two guys, I think that they definitely are going to present some challenges. But I think, man, with Matt Canada, what he's been able to do from a pre-snap motion and movement standpoint, that's going to help out a lot. I also think we could see a scenario where they're trying to create different launch points for Ben in terms of not having him just drop back traditionally straight back every time, because I feel like our offensive line will struggle to protect if they do that.
We got the weapons, man.
Yeah, because, I mean, we saw the Giants definitely were having success both rushing interior and outside on the edge when we try to just drop straight back. So that's my biggest concern, man. If that D-line wins that battle, that can change everything. Similar to what we saw with Washington and the Eagles. We knew the Eagles had the better roster, but their offensive line just wasn't good. They couldn't hang with them, and ultimately that was the deciding factor in that game.
Yeah, so whenever I mentioned we have the talent, I really thought that was there was two parts of the Steelers' success
Yeah.
with the Giants on offense versus their defense. And one was whenever Ben was getting the ball out quick to Juju on the zig routes, Deontay on the slants, just getting it in these playmakers' hands. So that's one aspect. I think that's a way that we could mitigate the Broncos
indeed.
pass rush for sure. But then also, I don't know how this would necessarily affect the pass rush. I think this does it, though. It's just more or less keeping a defense honest is the running game with Benny Snell.
Yes.
And even though Derrick Henry didn't have the best yards per carry, they kept feeding him, and it was effective. So I think
31 carries,
Benny
116
Snell,
yards.
he proved it in a couple games last year. He's obviously took a jump, as we've seen in week one. If we get him the rock, we could get the ball out quick with some like spread offense type of formation. I think that's it. I think it's kind of what we did against the Giants. If we just do those type of things, I think we'll be good.
Absolutely, man. And I mean, we saw in that Giants game, everything played out the way it should have played out, but we definitely saw that Giants D-line get after our offensive line, and which was some of the reasons why Ben was taking the hits that he was taking, and why at times we all were kind of holding our breath like, oh, is he going to get this out of here? Can he make this play right here? So I think it'll be similar going into this game. I do still think that the running game is going to be good.
Yeah.
Though. I think, man, the way Benny is playing right now, he just looks good, man. He's been able to make guys miss. I know when you look on the tape, obviously the O-line got better as the game went on.
Yeah, definitely.
And, you know, that's definitely something that you're hoping can carry over. But I just think that it's still not going to look like how it finished, just because now when you're talking about having new pieces again and having to get reacclimated to that, I think that's going to present some challenges. That's all.
Yeah. No, I agree 100%. What about, so I guess then our defense versus their offense then? Yeah,
for our defense versus their offense, like I said, the biggest thing is how we minimize Fant. I know they're going to do a good job in terms of the Broncos offense. They're going to keep those tight ends in to at least chip and slow down Bud and TJ.
Yeah.
But I don't see them being able to run the ball. I think they're going to be one-dimensional. And if they're one-dimensional, having to pass a lot, I mean, you think about Daniel Jones threw the ball, 41 times last week. If you're throwing the ball 40 times against this defense,
Gordon's not doing anything against us.
Yeah,
he's not.
If you're throwing the ball 40 times against this defense, that's going to play into this defense's hands because they're built to stop the pass. I mean, we talk about the edge rushers, the interior rushers, guys that can cover, safety play. Yeah, they're built for that. The biggest thing, if you want to try to attack this defense, you got to be able to run the ball. And right now, I just don't think the Broncos have enough in their O-line to be able to get movement up front. That was the biggest issue with Saquon last week. They just didn't have no movement. I mean, anytime they tried to run out of base, Tyson Alualu was dominating the center.
He was, man.
Every single time. If you're not winning that matchup, there is nothing you're going to be able to do in terms of running the ball, because you know with Cam and Tua, they're winning their matchup in the running game. So I just see a similar scenario with the Broncos. I understand Munchak is out there and he does a great job getting guys ready to go and things like that. We benefited largely from that here in Pittsburgh.
We got an insider out there.
But I just don't. I mean, they also signed Anthony Chickalo.
I saw that.
Bro.
Well, that's because is it because Mark Barron, he was on the injury report? I don't know if that's why, or if they just want some
I don't
more
know, because I'm like,
here.
Barron plays inside, Chick is an edge rusher, so I'm like, it doesn't really Chick give you special teams value, but I mean, I don't really see how those two work together in that vein because they're two different positions.
They just want that inside info here, man.
Yeah, but when I saw it, I was like, okay, Chick. I'm just glad Chick getting a check, man. Hey, I'd rather you get the active money than that practice money, baby. Get paid however it works, man. However it works. Cut the check.
I wanted to say something about the whole Devin Bush Fant matchup that we were talking about in terms of the tight ends and just the similarities of Broncos Giants again. With that tight end, it's going to be different for Bush just because Fant's more of a traditional tight end build as opposed to Ingram.
He's like a receiver.
Yeah, he's a receiver out there. So, I like all the points that you brought up with Bush and maybe Fant being a mismatch. I know I was talking about the receivers a little bit.
Whoa. I ain't say mismatch.
No.
I ain't say mismatch. No, don't put that on me now.
Match to watch.
There we go. Match to watch. I'm gonna say, I'm betting on 5-5.
Right. Like a potential thing that could be cause for concern.
Cause for concern. If like when I look at these matches, I always say, what do
I said with the Steelers cornerbacks versus the receiver. If I'm betting my money, I'm saying the cornerbacks. But if something were to happen, this could be the thing I'm looking for.
That's I feel like every game you got to ask yourself, how do the Steelers win this game, and then how do the Steelers lose this game? And from there, that's kind of how you're able to formulate the different keys and different matchups to look to. And that's just kind of how I come about that, man.
Yeah. Do we got anything else in terms of the matchup? Because I don't know. I don't know what else there is really.
I think that's the biggest part. We talked a little bit about Deontay Spencer, seeing just, how they continue to minimize him. I loved what Derek Watt did, though, man. Him and Robert Spillane were flying around on special teams last week. I think Derek Watt had like 3 tackles on special teams. So, I mean, you pay him for that. I love to see that. Expect we're going to need that again come Sunday because, like I said, Deontay Spencer can definitely light it up. And it'll be interesting to see Deontay Johnson, our Deontay, in the return game, man, in terms
Whenever
of
he got it,
up.
He was able to shake a little bit, get some yards.
When the ball is in his hands, he's electric. We talked about that, but we saw drops from him, and we also, obviously, like I said, when it comes to the punt return situation, we saw him look like how he did in year 1 in terms of the ball security issues, in terms of catching and stuff. I want to see just, all right, is that cleaned up? Are you good to go? Or is this going to be something where every kick now we're holding our breath? Because we don't want to do that. We don't want to do that at all.
No. No, definitely not. I guess for special teams, one of my keys, what I'm looking for.
Here we go.
Just balls, make just make everything. That's all.
We had a missed field goal. We did.
It was extra point.
Same difference as a kick. You missed it. Yeah.
I know, but then he hit everything after that.
Yeah. So
I just don't want to go through what was that 2018 again. That's all. Because he was awesome last year. He was probably the second or third best kicker in the AFC.
Absolutely, man.
After Tucker, but I don't know if there was a guy in between there, but maybe we could say top 2. What the hell?
He was a top tier kicker. Just leave it at that. You're so quick to put a number on it, man.
I know.
Then we get up here. Well, what about Goskowski? What about this guy? You're like,
dude, he's out of it, man. I don't know was he hurt last year? He might have been hurt.
I think he was hurt last year. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but dude, he didn't look good at all in the Monday night game, man. He screwed him.
Monday night game.
Yeah, he missed all those field goals with Titans.
Now he's with the Titans. I'm talking about when he was with New England.
Oh no, I'm not talking about that. I'm saying he's lost a step this year.
I'm talking about what's that?
For his sake,
a year or two ago.
For his sake, I hope he gains it back unless he's playing us in the playoffs or something. We play them this year, so maybe miss a few kicks there. But yeah, that's I told you, I'm looking to special teams a little bit more now, and I'm going to be eyeing up the kicking. You
are funny, bro. You are funny. I like it though,
Let's see if there's a little bit of a draw to his stroke, a little bit of a fade.
We'll see, man.
I am.
They say kickers like golf too, bro.
I am. I'm going to look week to week. All right, he's drawing a little bit. Let's see what he does next week. Does he got the draw down, or
because a lot of times, man, if you're too wide one way, then they try to overcompensate and they make it too much the other way. So that's always something to follow, man.
I think that'll be a good thing. Every week I'll come in with my
I like it, bro.
I'll come in with my kicking report.
You know I'm down for it, baby.
like a golf draft.
Yeah, I'm down for it, man. So predictions, bro. What you got?
You know what? I'm just gonna say the same score because
what did you have last time?
I had 27-13.
27-13? Okay.
And I was close. We were both close. Yeah. But so I didn't waste it on the last one. I didn't hit it. So let's see if I can hit 27-13 on this one. I've been talking about this whole time the similarities between Broncos and Giants and how they match up with the Steelers. So hell, why not 27-13?
I like it, man. I got it 21-13, man. I think.
Oh, a little less points for us.
Well, yeah, I just think that
their defense is slightly better.
They're a better defense. I also think that their D line is gonna potentially cause some issues for our offense early on, similar to what we saw last week against the Giants.
Because our O-line's a little worse heading into this game as opposed to last week.
And let's be real, even if our O-line was healthy, it wasn't as if they looked good the whole time Monday night. They looked like they had some issues. They looked like they needed to get some stuff cleaned up. So I already was feeling that way, and that was before you factor in the potential 2 new starters on that right side, one being a rookie starter on top of that. Yeah, that makes me nervous. So that was why I have it at 21-13 versus it being, a lot more, because I do think, man, from a matchup standpoint, our weapons, once you get outside of that O-line, I think our weapons at the receiver position and at the running back position, obviously Titans are included in the receivers. I just think that they have the more talented players in that group.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think defensively, man, I think Luck is definitely going to hit some plays because I think he's a good player. He's a young and emerging guy. But for me, I mean, obviously, you got too many questions right now with the returns of those guys. I mean, in that receiving group, they're a lot younger. I'm talking about Hamler and Sutton and stuff like that. You just never really know what you're going to get right now. And then Judy, are you going to continue to have the dropsies, or are you going to look like, a guy that is ready to be a player, man?
Yeah.
Even though it's funny, every time I look at Judy, he gives me Ocho Cinco vibes. I don't know why, bro. I don't know why. When he's walking around, he runs his routes, I'm like, bro, he just reminds me of Ocho.
Yeah, dude, what's wild? I mean, just the whole receiving draft class. Yeah. Him, CD Lamb, Ruggs, even Claypool with us now, dude. Bro. It's
nice receivers, right?
Yeah,
nice.
So it's gonna be interesting coming up with all these receivers. I think that's it in terms of the matchup.
Fun, man.
Right?
Yeah.
Is that it? Is there anything else?
I think that's it, man. Just ready to enjoy that, bro.
I got nothing else.
Yeah, we talked a little NBA, man. Previews from around the league. I got to talk my Buffalo Bills, so I always enjoy that.
I think
and then we deep
I brought
dive into
them
the
up.
Steelers. You did. That's why I was surprised. I'm like, I wasn't even gonna do that. I was like, I'm just let it roll, man.
I guess I was just thinking, like I said, to the podcast and interesting things that I heard from what they were saying. And I was like, I don't agree with this at all.
Yeah.
So that's why I brought it up. I kind of regret it. I don't want to be talking good on the Bills like that, man.
Hey, it's all good,
like
bro.
I said, I got to give credit where it's due. I'm not gonna be like that.
It's all good, man.
I did think last year whenever we played them, I thought everything I said was warranted, but I was proven wrong.
It happens.
It looked like Josh Allen has taken a step in week 1 a little bit. Let's see if he can keep it up. That's
absolutely, man. And hopefully our guys can continue to keep going in the right direction too, man. Either way, I'm excited.
Oh, we're good.
And once again, man, I'm putting it out there. I said it last weekend. I'm saying it again this weekend, man. Don't call me. Don't text me. Don't DM me, man. I'm watching football. I'm going to be in a state of nirvana the whole weekend. Whatever that means. Don't ask too many questions. But I'm enjoying sports, baby. I got football. I got basketball. Don't forget I got NASCAR too. I totally missed the race last week. Don't even worry about that. I'm gonna catch this one somehow, some way. But either way, man, I'm enjoying my weekend. I can't wait. But we got content for y'all. Don't worry about that, baby. So yeah, that was fun, man. We're good.
Wait,
You're good.
I got the exclusive then, because we were texting pretty good throughout the game.
I told you. What did I say? I said
you said just me. Yeah.
I said it's 97% of the people in my phone on social media I'm not gonna respond to. I said I got 3% of people that, hey, if this person calls, that person texts, I'm responding. If they shoot an email, and literally my 3% did hit me up, and it was all good. I was like, yeah, I don't mind this because this is positive right here. This is fun. This is good. I'm functioning enough to be able to have a conversation.
You weren't just blowing smoke then.
Nah, man. I'm dead serious, bro.
Okay.
So I'm just keeping the same energy. I'm gonna need some weeks before I can, start opening up my weekends to people, man, on the phone. And I ain't ready for that just yet, man. I've missed this for so long. It's finally here. I'm in heaven. It's sports heaven for me again, man. So let me just vibe out this weekend, man.
All right. Works for me. Actually, is there one more storyline?
I hope so. What you got?
It's not. I think it was just, I was thinking back on some of the takes I was flying over to you on Sunday.
What you got for me, man? What you got?
Dude, we don't have to talk about it. I just thought it was funny because I was more or less making a joke about it.
Man, drop that, man. Go ahead.
Is Trubisky clutch all of a sudden?
Oh, or is DeAndre Swift a choke artist all of a sudden?
Dude, but even
which are we going with? Come on, man. They hit him in the hands.
Because even if the Lions score there, 3 touchdowns in the fourth quarter to bring them back like that.
It doesn't matter. It's been over. We're not saying that about Kirk Cousins and them. We're not saying that about Kirk Cousins in Minnesota. They scored 24 points in the fourth quarter.
What do you mean? Up in Green Bay?
Absolutely. They were down big, scored 24 points, and literally came down to a questionable call that could have flipped it and made it a 1-score game going into that with time on the clock. So are we doing that? Because we can go there. I just kept it as they all in the same boat. If y'all got beat, y'all got beat, period.
No, it's just funny because of how bad everyone thought Trubisky was. And he was looking terrible in the first half, too.
He did get hot, though. He dropped some dimes.
He did. He did. I made it over to my buddy's house for his last one to Anthony Miller in the corner of the end zone.
That was beautiful.
I was like, holy shit, man.
When did that start? Yeah, like seriously, bro. You know what it is?
Maybe that's what they saw in him when they drafted him.
You know what it is?
What? It factor.
No. You know what it is?
What? I don't know.
It's competition. They brought in Nick Foles. And Nick Foles can ball. We know this. But when you bring in competition, like I talked about, it makes you play better. Even in the quarterback room that nobody says your name, you can't have competition. What did Trubisky say going into this season? This is the most motivated I've ever been. I'm so focused right now. I'm ready to prove everybody wrong.
Russ doesn't have competition.
No, you don't.
Brady didn't have competition.
They were already elite though, and actually Brady did. He had Garoppolo in his wings.
Most of his career. I'm saying most of his career.
All I'm saying is Russell Wilson had competition early on. They paid Matt Flynn to be their quarterback. Brought in Tavares Jackson.
But once Russell has hit his prime, they've not brought anyone in there.
I'm just simply saying, bro. Like
Rodgers until now,
he got Jordan Love. He got competition in there,
which I still disagree with. But because dude, they could have had one of these receivers.
I like what they did.
Those other guys didn't look too bad. So
and everybody acts like the Packers' offense was bad last year. It wasn't bad. You look at his numbers, Rodgers' numbers were good.
He wasn't doing what he did week 1.
Bro, I'm saying you got a top 10 receiver in Devontae Adams, and you still got a debate. Top 5 right, and you got a debatable top 10 running back in Aaron Jones. Like, bro, they got weapons. That's what I'm saying, man. People want to make this whole narrative of Aaron Rodgers has no help on offense. The man threw for over 4,000 yards, had 27 touchdowns and 4 picks. You don't do that with no help. He was balling.
He was just a little conservative.
People want to see more of the gaudy. Oh,
I know, that's what I mean.
Throw for 4,700. Throw for 5,000.
He didn't do what he did in week 1 last season. That's all. And people want to see that. People like seeing that.
And then they paint a narrative of he doesn't have hope. I'm like, bro, they didn't need. Oh, he could have took a running back. They didn't need a running back either.
No, they did second round.
What I'm saying is this though. Like the people were saying, well, if you're not going to take a receiver or bring in this guy, at least bring in a running back. It's like, bro, they had everything they needed at that time. Now, granted, you want to make your offense better, of course, but it wasn't like they were hurting at any position over there. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. But that was the last thing because me and my buddies were just joking about it. Like
Trubisky did look good though, bro.
Trubisky flipped the switch, like those. Who
did they got week 2?
Those funny hot headlines. Who do they have this week? I have no clue. No clue. Is it Lions? I think it's Lions Packers. You got it up right now?
Yeah. So they play the Giants.
Wow,
yeah,
Trubisky
they play the Giants. Yeah, and then Lions and Packers after that. Yeah.
Is wow.
He had 2 games back to back. I'm telling you.
You think?
Create a whole narrative, baby. It happened.
You think?
If he looked accurate in the second half of that game, bro. He looked good.
I know he did. That's
if he could do that again. All it takes is confidence. You go from the second half last week looking good, then you get a game against that Giants secondary.
Dude, this is what's hilarious about sports and football, though. Like it's ridiculous. We literally spent the whole offseason. I mean, I think we even said, like, is Foles better than Trubisky? Like, we both said Foles.
I'm just simply saying, I'm not believing the hype with Trubisky. I'm just throwing it out there, but it is fun to follow this storyline.
No, it is. I think we both said we'd take Foles, but I thought Trubisky was going to get the start. You thought Foles was going to get it, right?
Well, I felt like Foles should have got it, but I think you said this to me. You said you can go.
Yeah, it was that weird thing
you can
that we were
start,
talking about with Duck and Mason last year.
Yeah, you can start Trubisky and pull Trubisky
after like 2 or 3 weeks.
And then go Foles if it doesn't work, and then you can still always go back. But no, you can go to Foles after that, but you can't start Foles and then go to Trubisky. It can't be the other way. Yeah.
That wouldn't make sense.
Right, I'm with you on that, bro. So I mean, so far it worked out for him in week 1, kind of. I mean, this is the thing though, it really didn't because he didn't play well until the second half. And then on top of that,
time,
but wait a minute now, it's only clutch time because they won. If DeAndre Swift just catches a routine,
that's still a good fourth quarter.
Bro,
I didn't see the Cousins fourth quarter, but I'll say the Cousins fourth quarter was good too, without even seeing it.
All I'm saying is this: if DeAndre Swift catches this little loft of a pass from Stafford in the end zone
which
by
we
himself,
knew Stafford was going to give him a shot.
Bro, if he catches that, we're not even talking about Trubisky's fourth quarter. We're not. We're saying, man, look at the game winning catch by the Lions by DeAndre Swift. We knew Swift was good. That's why they drafted him. And that's that. That's what we're talking about. We're not about to be over here
in the fourth quarter like
bro,
that though. We're not talking about it, but we're not ripping on Trubisky at all.
Yeah, but I'm saying the reason why we're talking about it is because they won. If DeAndre Swift catches that touchdown pass, it's literally 5 seconds on the clock. It hits him square in the hands. If he catches that, we're not having this conversation. The same way we're not talking about Kirk Cousins and what they did because at the end of the day, they lost.
We might have because I think I fired off that take before the Lions had their drive.
Man.
I think I did. And I was thinking about my takes whenever we were talking about texting. So I was like, all right, this was a take. So I'm going to bring it up.
If you say so, man. I just feel like if DeAndre Swift catches that pass, man, we're not talking about this, man. It's a whole different narrative.
I understand. Yeah. I don't know. I don't even know how much the national media was talking about it this week. To be honest with you,
it's the Lions and Bears, bro.
Huh?
It was the Lions and Bears. Why were we talking about?
I'm sure it was brought up, but
I mean, briefly, probably.
Yeah, I've been just trying to be low key. I'm trying to focus on my own takes.
They're not like hot take matchups right now. Nobody cares about them to that. I mean, you saw Prime when Prime was doing his thing with Barstool. Lions and Bears, nobody cares. Nobody cares. That. Yeah. He said it about a couple times. I was rolling. Nobody cares. Nobody cares.
What's his face in Pittsburgh now? Portnoy. Did you see that?
I did, yeah.
He was down in Vito's. He was botching up the name. I don't know if he was doing that on purpose or not. I don't know if he did another pizza spot though. But I mean, that was pretty cool just to see like a Pittsburgh pizza shop on there.
Yeah, it was, I mean, depending on how you feel about Portnoy and Barstool, it is what it is. I would say I'm not about to. I ain't doing that now. That's what we not. Hey.
It's good to see Pittsburgh pizza joints getting publicity.
There we go, getting publicity. We'll leave it at that. Yeah. Don't worry about the rest of it. It's
because whatchamacallit, seeing the unique shredded cheese, the Betos.
If y'all want to see it again, we'll go down there and record. Don't worry about it. All right.
You want to?
It's whatever. You know I'm down. But you would have to wear a mask though.
We can't do pizza though.
Why not?
Huh?
You don't like pizza?
No. That's just completely ripping off that. We need to find our own thing.
Oh, got you. Well, I don't think it's ripping off. I got a relationship with Fiore's. Remember, with the stills, I came in there dressed up, was cooking pizza and stuff.
I mean, Portnoy's got the pizza reviews.
Forget him, man. It's our thing that we take over.
Pittsburgh pizza reviews.
Exactly. No. Moats and Deke. Actually, Deke and Moats, because you got to put respect on your name.
No.
Deke and Moats
I don't
pizza
need
reviews.
that.
Sure?
No, I swear I don't need that.
All right, because you got the taco meat out again.
I don't need that.
You sure? Extra curly.
Yeah. I look good today, but no, we don't.
You look good today. I love it.
I don't need my name first. I really don't. It's Moats and Deke. You're the guy, man.
Well, you know, we'll review. We'll take it to the review board. We'll talk to the panel.
What about donuts? What about like?
I love donuts.
We don't have like. Do we have?
We don't have a lot of like mom and pop style donut place. We got like chain.
Crap.
We could do ice cream though.
It's
Pastries.
Pittsburgh ice cream.
You got Page Dairy Mart on Southside. They're iconic. You know them. They've been there forever.
Mom and pop. We have mom and pop ice cream. Yeah. This might have to only be like a year thing. I don't know if we can do it.
Well, we could just go mom and pops anyways though.
Maybe then we could do ice cream places if we travel again to like away stadiums.
Same, bro. We got some options, man. Either way, we'll
think about it.
We'll go to the review, man. We'll talk to the people, man. We'll talk to our council, and then we'll figure that whole thing out, man.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm good if you're good, man. Taco meat, Deke, sex symbol, baby in the building.
I'm good, dude.
All right. Well, you know what, man? We appreciate everybody for tuning in, man. We appreciate all the listeners, all the subscribers. Shout out to YouTube too, man. Y'all have been phenomenal, bro. Holy cow. We salute you. And yeah, enjoy Deke's taco meat. And until next time.
Peace.